Hey there, I'm Abby Huntsman. Welcome to HuffPost Live. Right now, we're talking about the growing cost of education and what lengths some people will take to pay the price for a 4-year degree. The amount of student loan debt in the U.S. continues to rise, and if you're not facing this personally, chances are you know someone who is dealing with this demon. How do we begin tackling this issue, and ultimately, how do we make what some consider a pricey education more affordable for everyday Americans? Joining me now to discuss this is our very own Mitchell Williams, HuffPost Live producer. And in the Google Hangout, we have Andrew, co-founder of Student Loan Debt, David, Senior Associate Dean and Director of Financial Aid at Davidson College, Mark, Publisher of Fast Web, and last but not least, Natalia, co-founder of Student Debt Crisis. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
But I'm going to start with Andrew and Mitchell, because you guys are both still dealing with paying off your debt. And Mitchell, it's been about 5 years since you've graduated. How did you get here?
Well, I think it's like the same story every student tells. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to get away from home. I chose a state university thinking it'd be more affordable, but then whenever I got in and I realized that it's just so easy to get money, that's whenever I started clicking on like the Sally Mae buttons and things just kind of spiraled out of control.
Yeah, I actually have a very similar situation. I decided to go to a private school in Boston that was out of my price range. And unfortunately, my parents decided not to help me out. And the Department of Education takes a thing called your expected family contribution into account, and I didn't really receive much financial aid. So as a result, I graduated with over $100,000 in student loans.
So David, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about Davidson College, because this is really the first of its kind that I've heard of where kids go to this college without having to pay any debt.
We have a award philosophy for our need-based funds, which is that we will meet the student's need with grant funding and with work funds. Doesn't mean students don't choose to maybe take a loan out to help out with the family contribution, but we do not require students to borrow as part of meeting their financial need when they apply for need-based aid.
So we just got a comment from et cetera, who says, just go my route, stay home, go to community college for 2 years and state college for the rest. Done. I mean, is it as easy as that? Natalia, feel free to jump in.
No, you'll still have debt. That's exactly what I did. And I mean, I only have $15,500 in debt, but it's kind of sad that in these times that I say only. That's still a lot of money. That's still a small car.
And Mark, let's talk a little bit about like the global trends here, because I spent the last little while living in Beijing, and I saw a lot of people from the West that came over there because it was financially easier for them to maybe go to school there. What are you saying? Are you seeing more of a trend in people leaving the U.S. to get a more affordable, education elsewhere?
Oh, and people are to a greater extent going overseas because even with the tuition plus the travel expenses, it can be less expensive than a high-priced nonprofit college in the United States. And you're talking about well-known international colleges like University of Cambridge, University of Dundee. But it's not, and it's certainly an increase, but it's not a landslide going over there. In part because UK, the tuition has tripled in the last year.